Genesis chapter 29, introduction. So, in this chapter we see Jacob reaching the end of the journey, getting to the well, where, like his father's servant years before that, 40 odd years before this, met his mother Rebecca. Now at the well he is going to meet his future wife Rachel. Well, one of them at least. So again, the interconnection of stories. So well, we've seen how in one of the chapters, 2 chapters ago, 3 now, Isaac was every time going around digging a well, and then Abimelech's people come and they don't like it and whatever, need to run away, move out. So we've seen the well and the importance of the well. There's a lot of that in here, and but here more directly, concretely, because of the same being made, parallels being drawn between Isaac or Abram's servant and meeting Isaac's future wife, and Jacob's mother, and the way Jacob is going to meet his wife, right? So that those connections being made. And we see as well the Laban coming running out in this chapter, as Laban came running there as well. But in this case now there's a huge difference. There the servant came with 10 camels and lots of money. Here it's just Jacob, and all he did was roll a stone away for his daughter. Right now, no gifts, no money given. So kind of a poor alone boy. Okay, a family member, but poor alone. So Laban would have been, what can I get from this guy? There's a lot I can get from this guy, right? And but family, and he still can get something, if not gold or anything. There's something else he can get. And that is free work, right? And that is what he's going to get from Jacob ultimately. Jacob will work for him for 20 years, and he, as Laban, will grow rich because of that, right? So yeah, then Jacob, he fell in love with Rachel. They made like a contract that he'll work for her, for Laban, for 7 years. And after 7 years, which flew past because he was so in love with Rachel, as the text said, the day of the marriage comes. Abram had to ask for it, and then Laban agreed, and now the deceiver, Jacob, becomes the deceived when his father-in-law, future father-in-law, Laban, gives him the wrong daughter. Because according to him, the older must be first, right? Not the younger. You don't give the younger away before the older. And exactly the same thing that Jacob did to his brother, right? His brother was older, so he's like saying, but in the culture, this is not how it works. And actually, even in his culture, it's not how it works. But Jacob deceived, and therefore he made it like that. So there's that point in it as well. And so, yeah, the deceiver, the exact same thing he did to others, is now being done to him. Do unto others as you want them to do unto you, right? And then they agreed for another 7 years of work. Then he'll get Rachel, but no need to work. Only after 7 years getting it. Basically, after a week with Leah, as supposed to, then he can get Rachel, but he still needs to work 7 years for her. So get her immediately, but needs to work then to work it off, kind of idea. And then the action changes to Leah and her childbearing. So Rachel is compared to Rebecca, compared to Sarah, which as well kind of need to show you that the one who will be the next important person is most likely going to come from like it's been up to this stage, from the barren woman, which will be Rachel ultimately, and Joseph. Right, the next story goes on to him. Yes, the line of Jesus goes through Judah, but in the story itself, the next important person is Joseph. Okay, so she gets these 4 kids: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah. And through the naming, every time you can see that she and her husband not very good relationships, but she's getting the kids. Okay, and while Rebecca is not, and that is kind of how God is now like giving to her, because of the fact that Jacob doesn't love. Actually, it states that he hated her, and he only loved. So yeah, the kind of family problems they had before is still the same kind of family problems they have. There was the fighting in the womb of Rebecca, to where Jacob had to flee now from Esau, and here where he gets married to Leah and then to Rachel, but he doesn't love Leah. He loves Rachel, and so those things are going to create it's going to create havoc later on for Joseph. This was the reason he loved Joseph more and Benjamin, and they're going to get rid of Joseph. So the problem continued